Right, now normally when we start these live videos, we do a shout out to somebody who's cruising, who has achieved something, or someone who's doing something perhaps for the first time. And I always like to do that. Today's shout out is a little bit different because I want to encompass a whole group of people.
Hey everyone, Coach coming back to you, and I wanted to give you some of the highlights of what John is going to be talking about in this upcoming video. Should you decide, hey, yeah, I'm not really that interested in those topics, so I'll skip the video to save you the time. But anyway, he starts off the video here talking, responding to a first responder who is requesting onboard credit. And he basically shares that they don't offer that to anybody, military or otherwise, but they appreciate them very much. There's also, the Carnival is going to be cruising from Baltimore once again, so that's great news. The Legend is in dry dock getting a bunch of upgrades that he discusses. There was also an allegation made on a Facebook cruise page about bed bugs on a particular ship, and they're just not true. And John responded to those allegations, and basically, yeah, it's just somebody making up some stuff, I guess, that's got a bone to pick with Carnival for whatever reason, and a few other things. But those are the highlights. One lady responded that she was upset about the VIFP gift, and another lady responded that she wanted a quiet dining room, not one with dancing and singing and things like that. So those are some of the highlights. So if none of those topics interest you, feel free to click off this, but I hope you hit a like and subscribe before you do. All right, take care, everybody. Here's John.
And to give you a little bit of an insight into those people, it is a letter which I shall read out, or a post from a gentleman whose name begins with the letter T. Should I say his name for this one? No, I better not. I won't. But T, good morning to you. And T says, T's currently on one of the ships. And he says this: I just had a long conversation with the name of the cruise director on the Carnival. He rudely, no he didn't, but that's another, I'll come back to that. He rudely told me that there is no special party or onboard credit for first responders. I was told that even though I have 3 more cruises booked in 2024, I cannot get any OBC, and there will be no special party as the military passengers get. This is unacceptable. I served for 21 years with Cal Fire, and to be ignored by Carnival is an insult to the service me and my brothers and sisters have given and still are. So first of all, you're on a ship, and I just want to touch very briefly. Sometimes when you get the word no from somebody, it may appear that they're being rude. I know for a fact that this cruise director that you're talking about could never be rude. I have known him a long time, well, quite some time, and I was recently actually on the ship with him, hosting something with him on stage, and I can tell you he doesn't have a rude button on his body. He just does not. And I'm sure he would have said, no, I'm afraid we don't give onboard credit to first responders, and no, there is not a special party, and he wasn't rude. I'm going to defend him on that. I hope that doesn't make me rude by defending him. If anybody's rude, it's me, and if you want to vent at me, please do so, but not him, because I know that he's on the ship now trying to give you so much fun. Cal Fire, I presume, and if I'm wrong again here, is that California Fire? I mean, you're on a ship out of California, so I presume it is. We don't offer onboard credit to first responders. We do not offer onboard credit to military personnel either. We do have a very special party for the veterans, and it is mostly just for the veterans. Occasionally the cruise directors will give a little shout out to first responders. But please do not, as you believe T here, that this is an insult to the service that you have given. We absolutely applaud all first responders. The fact that you, whether you're a firefighter, a police officer, a paramedic, or whatever it might be, that you run into the danger rather than away from it like I would. I'd waddle away from the danger, but in all seriousness, you know what I mean. We are extremely grateful. We're very proud of all of you. And while we're not going to give police officers or firefighters, paramedics onboard credit at this point in time, we certainly do acknowledge all of you and thank you most sincerely for the fabulous work that you do each and every day. You are incredible, ladies and gentlemen, and we are honored to have you on board. If there's anything you would ever like me to do for you, then let me know personally in the comments that we open each day, and I will make it so. But thank you to all of the first responders. You are my shout out today, because all of you who are sailing with us, we are very lucky to have you. And I hope for those still serving as a paramedic, as a firefighter, as a police officer, or any of the first responder jobs I may have not mentioned there, I hope this cruise gives you the rejuvenation you need from the stresses of your job these days, which must be so very difficult. We're proud of you all. Right.
Cruise code! Yeah!
I just can't get away from a good time.
Coach Cruise, like, subscribe, share. You know what to do.
Baltimore. Let's talk about Baltimore. Well, a lot of you have been writing to me yesterday and today asking about this, and I just want to confirm what we know at the moment. So we sent all the guests on the next cruise, the one that's leaving on the 19th, that we would be leaving from the port of Norfolk, and we sent you the bus information for you to register if you want bus transportation. But at the end of that cruise, which is the 2019, 2024, is that the 28th? I can't remember. At the end of that cruise, we will return to Baltimore. So this Sunday, for the 7-day cruise of the Carnival Pride, it will leave from Norfolk but return to Baltimore. And from there on in, we will sail from Baltimore back to Baltimore again. So there are 3 things I want to mention. This is the current news. Now, obviously, in the letters that we sent out, we said this is the plan. Things still may change. We still may get a phone call from US Coast Guard or the Port of Baltimore to say, no, we don't want the cruise ships back yet. But that is not expected to happen. But we just have to put that little nugget out there just to make sure that, well, we protect ourselves more than anything else. But the plan is to leave on Sunday to go to Baltimore again at the end of the cruise. And then for the next cruise, which is an incredible Journeys cruise to beautiful Greenland and Canada, that will leave from and return to Baltimore. Second thing I want to say is to all of you who have been involved in having to catch a bus there and back from Norfolk during the time after this terrible bridge collapse. I just want to say a massive thank you to you for your understanding. I think maybe 2, 3, 4 people at the most made a complaint and said we should be doing more. A few wrote and said $100 on board credit is not enough. But 99% of you have just said thank you. Thank you for still not cancelling our cruise, for providing the transportation and working so hard. And a huge, huge thank you to you for your understanding if you were on one of those cruises during the last 5 or 6 weeks or whatever it's been where we've had to do this. The second thing is, again, for the last time, a massive thank you to the Beards for doing all of this, and the logistics of which have been so complicated, and I'm very, very happy and proud to say that they've been able to do this, and thank you so much. And the third thank you is to the people of Baltimore, and I know it's been so hard for you not to see your landmark there anymore. It still must be, and we are very, very pleased to be able to bring the guests back to Baltimore, support the Baltimore economy, and long may we be able to do so. So that's the news. Starting this coming week, this coming Sunday, we are returning to Baltimore. Fabulous. I have to say that I woke up this morning and saw an email from a good friend of mine, Richard, saying that a ship had hit a bridge in Galveston. So I went back under the covers, and then I came out very quickly due to the chilly I had last night. I came back out the covers, and there's something wrong with me. I do not know. I'm sitting on something. And I was sincerely worried that we were going to have more problems. But luckily, there were no injuries, and the structural damage to the bridge in Galveston does not, hasn't resulted in any changes to our cruising from there. So Richard, thank you so much for giving me that information. I truly appreciate it. What else have we got? Right, well, we are, of course, in such a great position. The bookings for 2025 next year are getting stronger and stronger and stronger and more, and so many cruises sold out already. So many of you writing to me say we didn't realize, and we're desperately trying to get the cabin we want. It would be wrong of me and amiss of me to say, please don't wait until next year to book your cruise for next year, because there probably won't be any. The second thing is, a lot of you ask me every day, when are we going to announce the cruises for 26? Those will start probably in the autumn of this year, so look forward to that. My cover photo today, Carnival legend in Spain in her dry dock. She is having, one more time, a new ADA cabins, a new dedicated chef's table room, a sneeze. Don't ask. A dedicated chef's table room, a new seaside theatre, a heroes bar, ADA cabins on the second, what was the second level of the nightclub, new Carnival adventure shop, all sorts of things, and beautification of the balconies and the inside of the ships. So on the 16th of June, I shall be driving to the port of Dover, taking my iPhone on board and filming all the new additions and meeting some of you who are on that cruise. Now, yesterday we also announced more dry docks for 2026 with Carnival Dream, Carnival Pride, Carnival Glory, Carnival Paradise, all going in for dry docks, and we sent notices to those who had booked cruises for 26, and again, we will be putting those ships in dry dock in 26. I don't tell people about what's happening in dry docks until a ship is actually in the dry dock. So, for example, Carnival Splendor, she's going for a huge dry dock in Singapore. So is Carnival Panorama. When a ship goes into dry dock, that's when we will tell you everything that's happening. But Carnival Legend will be coming out of dry dock on time, on schedule, ready indeed to make sure that you are going to have a wonderful European season. And for those of you who are looking for Europe and the British Isles next year, it's already online, Carnival Miracle for 2025. And you can look at those dates. Now, on the 16th of June, I'll be going there. But before that, on the 28th of this month, I will be flying to Dallas, Texas. And I will be there to discover who shot JR. Now, people that are wearing ripped jeans will have no idea who JR is and who shot him. So let me tell you, those people, you millennial generation Zs, Xs, you can ask Uncle Google. But I'm going to find out who shot JR. And host a travel agent thing as well. Couple of things. So, what is wrong with me? I had something stuck up there. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I have to say that one of the biggest... There's very few things that gets my hair itching. And one of those is when people post things, never on my page, but on other pages, that are simply not true. And then 150 of you write to me and say, is this true? Some of you write to me and say, it's disgusting. How do you let this happen? One of those things that I'm talking about is that somebody posted about something that was on allegedly on one of the ships. I'm not going to say which one, I'm not going to say anything, but apparently, according to this person, the ship had, and I quote, an infestation of bed bugs. And 150 of you wrote to me and said, is it true? Why aren't we doing anything? So I hadn't seen anybody write to me actually on the ship saying I have a problem. Before I say this, let me say this. We have protocols in place, the strictest protocols. that if anybody makes that allegation, our brilliant housekeeping staff, our public health officers do what they do, and 9 times out of 10, nothing is found and there is no problem. If there is, we have protocols in place that take care of it immediately, and we look after the guest. But you see, what happened here is somebody alleged on another Carnival, another Facebook page, cruise Facebook page, and alleged that the ship they were on was, and I quote, infested with bed bugs. So I wrote to the hotel director 3 things. Number 1, there is no guest of that name currently or has there ever been on that ship. Secondly, here is what the guest service, the hotel director wrote to me. We do not have any issues with bed bugs on board. We do not have any issues with bed bugs on board. And in the same light, the screenshots you sent me of people under the name of the name that I won't mention, I'd really love to, for past or present voyages, no name has ever cruised with us on this ship with that name. And on the second note, the pictures of the towel animals you sent, this is not from one of our ships. Look at the furniture, the wall decors and the carpet design. This is not our ship. So this very bored person wrote and said that a cabin had loads of bed bugs and that lots of other cabins on this particular ship did as well. Not only was she never on the ship, not only had the ship no reports, the actual post was of a picture of a different cabin from a different ship from a different cruise line. And yet all of you believed it and wrote to me and said, how is it true? How's this happened? And it's my job to set the record straight, which I've done, which I'm happy to continue to do. But please, please take a look, think before you accuse me or anybody of this kind of thing happening. So for those of you who are about to write to me about this today, please don't, because it's not true. And the lady who posted this is posting photos of a cabin that isn't even on any of our ships. Feel much better now. Much better. What is wrong with me? There's something. And I just want to finish with this one if I can, because there are times when I know how to answer, and there are times to some questions that I think, I don't know how to answer this one. And here it is. I understand the OP, says this lady. Now I had to ask what that meant and its original poster. See, I'm learning. I understand the OP. There is too much noise everywhere on the ship. Remember, this was about the person who wanted people to be quiet at the Java Blue Cafe because they were trying to work or do a video call. There is too much noise everywhere on the ships. Music blaring, people screaming. I am not being an obnoxious passenger, but your main dining rooms are too noisy, too loud. How about giving us diamonds and platinums who are seasoned cruisers an option to be in a quiet dining room? Have one reserved for people who do not want the dancing and puerile entertainment. We have seen it all, so do not need to see it every time. Measured conversation is what most of us want, expect and enjoy. On another subject, I'm just off the Carnival Glory. They still had only the toiletry bag. They did not have, as you promised, the tote bag. This is another example of what I think you think of platinum loyalists. Full stop. Except it's not. The reason I have been shifting around in my chair is the final sentence. You can take this laughable gift and stick it up your... So the reason I'm fidgeting is I am sitting on a toiletry bag. And I think it still had her toothbrush in it. Anyway, that's an absolutely pure... I know this lady. She is a very valued guest. She's a loyal guest. I never said that you would definitely have the tote bag. I said it would be on every ship, hopefully by the end of this month, May. But at the end of you were on the transatlantic and they didn't have it yet. So thank you for inviting me to put it there. Now, let me concentrate on the noise in the dining room. I was thinking about this, you know, when you order an Uber, which I do a lot of when I'm in the United States traveling, you can, for a few extra dollars, get what they call a premium, which means your car isn't held together with masking tape and the seat isn't covered with a vomit-proof piece of plastic. And as happened to me one time, the driver isn't running his marijuana selling side hustle on speakerphone while you're actually driving to the ship. Anyway, now you can choose between having a conversation with the driver or a silent time with the driver, which is sort of understandable, right? It is. But this guest is saying that we need to have this with cruise dining. Honestly, I believe that frequent cruisers, regardless of colour of their card, whether they've got a gold, a platinum, a diamond, a red card, they still enjoy the dances, the songs, the parades, and the sound of laughter, the sound of fun. That's what you find in our dining rooms. And do we need to do a thing on the app now where you choose, like you can have a conversation with your Uber driver, whether you want a quiet dining room or the one where all the fun is? I don't know. Very aggressive about inserting a toiletry bag in my bottom, though. Anyway, I will simply say thank you. We have lots to do in the coming days, so as always, I'll be here to try and help you all I can. The IMAX movies, yes, I can tell you that, on the horizon and vista for this coming week. We have 3 movies. We have, I can't tell the names because of the copyright. There's one about a guy that keeps falling over, so he would be the guy. Don't know what that's about. And then there's one about a planet that is now in the charge of animals. Planet of the Apps. I didn't say the title. Planet of the Apps. And there's a third movie. What can we call this one? We have a third movie. It's going to be called Terminator versus Alien versus Predator versus RoboCop versus the guest that didn't get the new diamond gift and will shove it up someone's bottom. That's going to be a great movie. I know who my money's on, and it isn't the Alien. Thanks for watching. Thank you for all the fun. Thank you for sharing it all with us. And most importantly, thank you so much for, well, putting up with me. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Cheers.
Oh, YouTubers, check me. This is Cookie, your cruise director on the Carnival Horizon down in Miami, Florida. Trust me, number one, you want to follow this man's channel, Coach Cruise, because he's the absolute best coach out here. Not about fitness, but about cruising. Trust me, he's going to make sure you have the best time ever because he knows the ins and outs of every cruise that you go on. So click that like, follow button, and share more about this brother right here. Not only is he my coach, but he's my cousin. We'll see you all on the next cruise. Until then, we're out of here.
All
Peace.
right.
I just can't get away from a good time.